Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Wednesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, Rundu residents expressed concerns with the delay and level of services provided by the town council and called for improved service delivery. The residents raised their concerns at a budget consultative meeting where the council presented a proposed capital budget of $81 million and proposed tariffs for the 2024-2025 financial year. The proposed capital budget consists of $1.7 million towards emergency services to avail an office space for traffic law enforcement, $1 million, and the acquiring of a fire truck pump machine, $700,000. $25 million towards graveling new roads, tarring projects, and acquiring a storm water master plan, as well as heavy machinery. $500,000 towards community services, such as park and sports field development. $2 million towards town planning and local economic development. $3.8 million towards technical services and public environmental health, and $10 million towards sewerage reticulation, $7 million pump rehabilitation, $2 million, and hydro blaster for $1 million. Stephen Kihemba, one of the residents, questioned why certain areas were not surveyed, while another resident, Kashiti Johannes, raised the water crisis at Tuhingireni, questioning whether the council has a plan to activate the prepaid meters to enable residents to purchase water. Despite these concerns, the Rundu Town Council's Executive for Infrastructure, Planning and Technical Services, Zakaria Shopati, maintained that the council operates on a cost recovery basis. The council revealed that the residents owe approximately $409 million and that the debt has severely hindered the council's capacity to provide improved services. Responding to why certain areas were not surveyed, particularly in Ndama Extension 15, Shapati said the council is only able to do much based on how much it collects from the residents. Getting to our next story, Commissioner Andreas Nelumbu, head of the Directorate of Logistics and Procurement, claims that the 2022 search warrants for his properties in Windhoek, Mpungu, and Okatana, following allegations of missing firearms and ammunition, were maliciously obtained without probable cause. Since I began my duties in 2011, there have been regular annual inspections of all police properties and assets, including firearms. To date, I have not received any negative reports over the past 11 years. The search, instructed by then Nampol Deputy Inspector General Joseph Shikongo in September 2022, was unsuccessful, as no firearms, ammunition, or illegally obtained or stolen police property were found on Nelumbu's premises. According to Nelumbu's particulars of claim, the charges of theft and dealings of firearms and ammunition, along with the warning statement brought by Commissioner George Mhoni and Commissioner Sidney Philander, amount to a witch hunt and victimization. Sebastian Deitunga, then Inspector General of Nampol, revealed in his witness statement that he gave in September 2023 that when he returned from leave, he received a report from Shikongo indicating that some firearms were missing from the strong room at the armory section of the central depot. I instructed a committee to launch an investigation into the report. The committee reported back to me and intended to charge Nelumbu. I did not object to this, but I asked them to present their evidence against him. Deitunga said. According to Deitunga, there was no evidence brought forth to implicate the commissioner until he retired in August 2022. He also asserts that during his tenure as Inspector General, he has known Nelumbu to be very hardworking, disciplined, and honest, with no history of misconduct at work. Nelumbu has launched legal proceedings against the Ministry of Safety as well as Shikongo in his capacity as Inspector General. He is seeking $2 million intellectual damages, alternatively constitutional damages, for the violation of his right to dignity and privacy at a 20% interest rate per annum from the date of judgment to the final date of payment, along with the cost of suit, The case has been postponed to July 10, 2024 for the hearing of closing submissions. The state is accusing Temson Hautukulipi of abusing the court process as he has recently made a new bail application only 1 year after his second unsuccessful attempt to be granted bail. State Prosecutor Hesekiel Ipinge argued in the High Court on Tuesday that Hautukulipi's attempt to secure bail is merely an amplification of his previous applications under the pretense of presenting new facts. Hautukulipi, who has been in custody for nearly 4 years, is filing his third bail application based on these purported new facts. Hautukulipi, presenting his argument before Judge David Munsu, stated that his deteriorating finances and debt accumulation are new facts that he can prove with evidence that was not provided in the last bail application. According to Ipinge, however, his deteriorating financial situation and emotional detachment from his children were pre-existing facts at the time of his second bail application, factors considerably dealt with when his second bail application was dismissed. In addition, Hautukulipi says it has been 1 year and 5 months since his last bail application and has since not picked any case, which the state strongly holds as a pre-existing fact, a natural consequence of the court refusing to grant him bail. His bail proceedings continued from earlier today. Today saw Namibia Art, Craft and Design jointly with the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture host a business breakfast that aimed at finding interested parties that can contribute towards the repurposing of the Alta Festa into a museum that also becomes a cultural hub for all Namibians, allowing for an understanding of Namibia's complete history. Let's take a look.
Center and your corporate responsibility that you want your hard-earned money to go to the grassroots, that it cannot get any better than if you channel that money to the craft. Because we are at the grassroots, if not where the roots of the grass, and this is where we want to take the craft. Currently, there is not that much craft products available for us to compete internationally. We don't have the skill set yet across the country to get us there. We lack identity, where people actually cannot go to a shop and say, this is Namibian. Everyone can say, that's Zambian, but Pam, you've got Zimbabwean stuff there, there's Kenyan stuff. It's so specific, that is Malian. But Namibia, we are lost. We are lost in the craft industry. So we do a bit of everything, but we're not there, we're actually missing. So we also, as a craft center, with the ministry, will try and ensure that Namibia actually does develop an identity. And with the involvement of the communities that do have a very specific cultural identity, and try and bring that into an identity that people from all over the world can say, okay, this is Namibian. We're going to establish a craft shop, as Jenny's Place has closed down. Arc Trading also used to have a little craft sector. So now the quality of the finishing of the products has also been affected slightly. So we need to ensure that our products are still getting higher and higher, better quality, better finishing. And this is where, as corporates, we do need the support. Even in the Artefest, we're going to have a craft design institute that we're able to train the crafters, make sure the packaging is right, make sure the finishing is right, ensure that they have the right things to finish.
That concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we take a look at the CBBN's process. That is the reason why health institutions lack medicine and supplies, a reason that has been rejected by the NIPDB.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number 085 785 6231 and WhatsApp #061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the #061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your votes for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
Getting into our story of the day, the acting executive head of the Central Procurement Board of Namibia, Amon Gavetene, rejects claims that the CPBN's process is the reason why state health institutions lack medicine and supplies. Algeta Greg reports.
We have never received a procurement from the Ministry of Health to either to disinfect or to eradicate mice and cats from hospitals. Why do they still have this problem? If everything can be pinned on Central Procurement Board. We all understand that the procurement process have really been made too litigious. In that, for every stage along the way you get challenged, the board does not have in override discretionary powers to say whatever we say stands and we cannot be challenged. Obviously, yes, it can't be like that. We are in a democratic dispensation as a country. So, but the truth of the matter is, for every health procurement where we have been challenged, either at the review panel or either in High Court, the Ministry, together with Central Procurement Board and Ministry of Health, through the Strengthening of Health Committee, always come up with the remedial actions, which allows then the Ministry to conduct short-term procurement so that we don't have a total stock out of essential medicines in hospitals. Upon the cancellation of the clinical tender, please, it's still a clinical tender, not condom tenders. We then ran a short-term 6-month procurement to fill the gap. That was done. At the same time, the ministry was allowed to run a procurement for 12 months to fill the gap for pharmaceuticals, because the pharmaceutical tender is still stuck at the High Court. We are waiting for judgment on 31st May this year. So, unless the ministry is saying we don't have money to procure, because we never had long-term procurement, we always had to do short-term procurement, and these short-term procurement are expensive, and therefore we have run out of money. That could have been a completely different story. But they can't say they have nothing at the moment because of procurement process at the board. Because for every process that is challenged at the board, there is always a remedial measures in place. So they just need to answer themselves what's happening in that space. And that narrative has been coming up and up and up. And for some of us, we have a duty to protect the reputation of the board. Even if we have tried to be diplomatic, I think there is a point where we have to say yes, it is. And I think that's my submission on that issue.
International Housing Solutions will see 434 single-story, two-bedroom townhouses to be built in Walvis Bay. On the other side of the break, we take a look at this story.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
In our community talk, the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Dunes Estate took place today in Walvis Bay. The housing initiative by International Housing Solutions will see 434 single-story, two-bedroom townhouses to be built right next to Dunes Mall in Walvis Bay. Leandria Mower reports.
I think it's worth mentioning, I think 6 months of groundwork went into preparing the ground in this area. We always say that people always underestimate housing developments in Walvis Bay and how expensive the earthworks are. And I can imagine you must have put in quite some millions into just leveling up this land here, because we know that when we drove past here was just water all over. So my appreciation to the people that did all the work, and also to the funders, that we have come to this point, that soon we will be seeing housing units in this area. Thank you very much to all the commitments that went into this project, and from the council, Municipal Council of Walvis Bay, we always welcome Housing Development's Chairperson of Management Committee. This is one of our biggest struggles in our country, not only in Walvis Bay but all over Namibia. And we would like to take an opportunity just to encourage local authority councillors as well as technocrats to really see to it prioritize delivery of land and housing in all our local authorities in this country. Thank you very much. I hereby now, Henk, kan my knip?
Asseblief, let's go.
We welcome this development in Walvis Bay, the Dunes Estate.
Thank you very much.
According to Economic News, NWR records $46 million in profit. We expand on this story after the break.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Getting into our economic news, Namibia Wildlife Resorts recorded a 32% surge in revenue to $387 million in 2023 compared to $294 million recorded in 2022, and a profit of $46 million for the 2023 financial year, which ended on the 31st of October. This comes after a loss of $35 million in 2022, representing a reduction of losses to 231%. NWR's Managing Director Matthias Ngwangwama said optional expenses such as repairs, renovations, and maintenance of the facilities increased by 7%. Repairs and maintenance were $27 million in 2022 and $23 million in 2023. Maintaining other resorts and camps to improve customer experiences and services delivery is one of NWR's strategic intent, he said. The company aims to continue investing profits into the capital infrastructure. NWR continued to make good progress on its strategic value drivers of occupancy growth, revenue expenses, management, profitability, and improvements on the balance sheet, Ngwangwama said. Not the solid financial performance in 2023 and ever-improving profit and balance sheet metrics is a demonstration of our commitment to our national mandate of providing tourism-related services in national parks of Namibia and being an important government arm through which the tourism national objectives are to be met. According to NWR, its financial performance continued to show resilience in 2023. In particular, long-term loans, statutory loans to financial development and commercial institutions and tax authorities, which were long-standing challenges in the past. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.13, against the euro at 19.71, against the US dollar at 18.20, 2 Namibian dollars and 51 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, all major commodities went down, with Brent crude oil trading at 0.43%, going for $82 and 42 cents per barrel. In international news, Hungary not planning to follow other European states on Palestinian statehood, FM says from Jordan. We expand on this after the break. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said that his country is not planning to follow other European neighbors in the recognition of a Palestinian state. Speaking during a joint news conference with his Jordanian counterpart, Ayman Safadi, in Amman, Szijjártó reaffirmed support for Israel in the defense of its citizens against Hamas, which he called a terrorist organization. Ireland, Spain, and Norway announced on Wednesday that they would recognize a Palestinian state on May the 28th, saying they hoped other Western countries would follow suit, prompting Israel to recall its ambassadors. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the move was aimed at accelerating efforts to secure a ceasefire in Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. During the news conference, Safadi took a different stand, expressing Jordan's support for a Palestinian independent state. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz ordered the immediate return of the Israeli ambassadors from the 3 European countries for consultations and warned of further severe consequences. The decision was welcomed by the Palestinian Authority, which exercises limited self-rule in the Israeli-occupied West Bank, and by Hamas, which has ruled the Gaza Strip since driving the PA out of the enclave in 2007. We now take a look at our weather predictions. Katiba Mlilo can expect warm weather conditions with a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. Oshakati can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Hendy's Bay can expect sunny weather conditions with a minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius, while Oranjemund can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. We will now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by Sportsrep.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news. Starting off with soccer news first is the English Premier League. That is done, but there's still movement on players and coaches, and big news from Chelsea is that their coach Mauricio Pochettino they announced that by mutual consent he will no longer be the coach of Chelsea. He was only the coach for 1 season, and previously it was Pochettino that also coached Southampton, also Tottenham Hotspur for almost 5 years, and also PSG in Paris he was the coach of, and it was a consortium of the United States States, they took over Chelsea a few years ago, and they were in the news throughout the year because they spent $1.3 billion on new players. And it is Chelsea that this season still finished in 6th position. So it is Pochettino that's going to leave the club.
That was Ari Hochart with the sports news. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sundays from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenora Shipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.